I made $80,000 in 6 months, then lost it all in the next 6, not because I spent it recklessly, not because of bad investments, I sabotaged myself. And I didn't understand why until I discovered what I'm about to show you. See, there's a pattern in your mind, a financial capacity, that determines how much abundance you can actually hold, and until you expand it, you'll keep returning to the same level. No matter how hard you work. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to expand it. I know you felt this. Putting in the work but not seeing the results you deserve. Making progress, then watching it slip through your fingers. You're not alone. And here's what most people don't realize, it's not about working harder. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why money responds to who you are, not just what you do. We're going to explore the psychology behind wealth using teachings from Carl Jung, Buddha, Jesus, and some of the world's most successful investors. And by the end, you'll have concrete actions you can start applying today to expand your financial capacity. If this kind of personal growth and finance content resonates with you, subscribe, hit that like button, and comment what stands out to you. Your support helps me keep creating this content. Now let's dive in. Most people think money is about hard work, others say it's about positive thinking and manifestation. But both are missing something crucial. Money doesn't just respond to what you do. It responds to who you are, your internal structure. Jesus said it clearly, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. He wasn't talking about bank accounts. He was talking about your internal alignment, your psychological capacity. That's why you see people lose everything and rebuild their fortune in 2 years. While others work 80-hour weeks and stay stuck at the same level. It's not luck. It's not connections, it's internal capacity. And here's the empowering truth, that capacity can be expanded. You can literally train yourself to hold more abundance. That's what we're going to explore today. Let me show you exactly how this works. There's a story in Exodus that explains this perfectly. When Moses goes up the mountain to receive the commandments, the people panic. Not because they lack gold, they have plenty of it. They lack certainty. They lack internal stability. So what do? They melt down their own jewelry and build a golden calf. The Bible doesn't call this an economic mistake. It calls it a psychological one. They weren't worshiping gold. They were worshiping the feeling of control. Think about it, they destroyed their wealth to create a symbol of security. Sound familiar? How many times have you rejected an opportunity because you needed to be sure first? The job you hate but won't leave because, at least it's stable, the investment you avoid because, what if it doesn't work? The business idea you kill before it starts because you need certainty, you're building golden calves. When your security depends on money, every decision gets contaminated by fear. And fear repels the exact opportunities you're seeking. Jesus said it another way, you cannot serve both God and money. He wasn't talking about paying bills. He was talking about where you place your ultimate power. Here's the shift, when you stop needing money to feel valuable, paradoxically, you start attracting it with greater force. Your internal state changes. And money responds to that. Carl Jung discovered something that made his wealthy patients uncomfortable: money activates your psychological shadow. Here's what that means: when you believe money will give you value, your unconscious mind detects danger. Why? Because whatever holds your identity together also controls you, and your psyche doesn't want to be controlled. That's why so many people self-sabotage right before success. The business that almost works, but you abandon it, the investment you avoid at the last second, the raise you never ask for. This isn't fear of failure. It's fear of what success would reveal about you: power, responsibility, Visibility. Judgment. Jung worked with millionaires who were miserable, and people living modestly who were terrified of wealth. He discovered that money doesn't create problems, it amplifies what's already there. If you have unresolved issues with power, money will force you to face them. If you carry shame about being visible, wealth will drag it into the light. Your unconscious knows this. So it protects you the only way it knows how, by keeping you small. But here's the good news: Jung also taught, what becomes conscious can be transformed. The moment you see your shadow, it starts losing power over you, so here's your first action. Take out a piece of paper. Right now, if you can, write this question at the top. If I had 10 times more money than I do now, what would I have to face that I'm avoiding today? Don't overthink it. Just write what comes up. Maybe it's visibility. Maybe it's responsibility. Maybe it's the fear that people will judge you or expect things from you. That answer, whatever it is, that's your financial shadow, and just by seeing it, by bringing it into consciousness, you've already started to dissolve its power. This might feel uncomfortable. That's normal. It means you're growing. Now let's go deeper. Throughout history, the people who built and kept real wealth share one trait: they tolerate uncertainty better than average. The Medicis during the Renaissance, Rockefeller during the Panic of 1907, the investors who bought during the 2008 crash. They didn't have more information. They had less fear. Here's what most people don't understand: they lose money not from lack of knowledge, but from uncontrolled anxiety. And anxiety is an internal state, not an external circumstance. Buddha didn't talk about money directly, but he understood its psychology perfectly. Suffering arises from desire contaminated by scarcity. There's a crucial difference between these two states: healthy desire, I want to grow financially; anxious desire, I need money to be somebody. When you need money to feel secure, every action gets contaminated by desperation. And desperation has a smell. Investors can smell it. Clients can smell it. Opportunities avoid it. The best investors know this. Warren Buffett only invests when he can sleep peacefully at night. Ray Dalio talks about radical equanimity. Not because money is bad, but because an anxious mind can't hold wealth without self-destructing. Here's a test: imagine losing half your money tomorrow. If your first reaction is panic, not strategy, just panic, you're attached. If your first reaction is, okay, how do I rebuild? You're free. This freedom isn't about not caring. It's about not needing external validation to know your worth, and ironically, people sense this energy. They're drawn to it. Let me tell you what happened after I lost that $80,000. I was 28. I'd been working for years, and suddenly everything clicked. 6 months of the best income I'd ever seen, but I didn't know how to hold it. I started spending compulsively, not on crazy things, just filling voids. Buying equipment I didn't need. Investing in half-baked ideas to feel productive. Within 6 months, I was back to zero, and the worst part: I couldn't figure out why. That's when I found Jung. Then Buddha. Then I started understanding the pattern. The problem wasn't the money. It was my internal capacity to hold it. I had a $50,000 thermostat, but I was trying to hold $80,000. My psyche didn't recognize that level. So it found ways to bring me back to familiar territory. The shift happened when I stopped chasing money and started expanding my container. I worked on my relationship with visibility, with responsibility, with the fear of judgment. I practiced making decisions from abundance instead of scarcity. It took 18 months. But I rebuilt everything. And this time, it stayed, not because I worked harder. Because I became someone who could hold it. And here's what I need you to hear: this isn't just my story. This is how it works for everyone. You don't need to eliminate fear. You need to act despite it. Every time you make a correct decision with fear present, you retrain your nervous system. You teach it, I can hold this. And what you can hold internally expands externally. Here's your second action: before your next financial decision, any financial decision, ask yourself, is this coming from abundance or from scarcity? If it's scarcity, wait. Breathe. Recalibrate. Then decide. If it's abundance, move forward, you'll feel the difference in your body. Scarcity tightens. Abundance expands. Start practicing this awareness. It's subtle, but it's everything, and here's what you'll notice: within 48 hours, your decisions will start feeling different. Clearer. More aligned. That's your container beginning to expand. Let's connect everything we've covered. The Israelites built a golden calf because they needed external security. Jung showed us that money reveals our shadows. Buddha taught that desperation repels what we seek. The great investors prove that internal calm creates external wealth. All of them are pointing to the same truth: the external follows the internal. Jesus said it in a way that sounds unfair: to those who have, more will be given. But he wasn't talking about money. He was talking about internal capacity. Think of it this way: if you were given $1 million today, but your psyche can only hold $50,000. In 6 months, you'd be back to $50,000. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why heirs squander fortunes. It's not the money. It's the container. But here's the beautiful part: the container expands. Every courageous decision enlarges it. Every time you act from abundance, it grows. You're not stuck with the capacity you have today. You're building new capacity with every choice. Now, I know some questions might be coming up. Marcus, I'm already busy. I don't have time for deep internal work. I completely understand. And here's the good news: this doesn't require hours. That question before each decision, that takes 5 seconds. The shadow exercise, 10 minutes, maybe once a week. This isn't about adding more tasks. It's about bringing awareness to the decisions you're already making. What if I'm just different? What if this doesn't work for my situation? I've seen this work for people in completely different circumstances. Different industries, different backgrounds, different starting points. Why? Because these are universal psychological principles. Your mind works the same way everyone else's mind works. The specifics of your life are unique. But the principles of internal capacity, those apply to everyone. I feel like I need to learn more before I can really start. This is actually one of those protective patterns we talked about, using preparation to avoid the discomfort of growth. You don't think your way into a new level of capacity. You act your way into it. Start with small, conscious decisions. You already know enough to take the first step. Every successful person I know was uncertain when they started. The difference is they moved forward anyway, learning as they went. You've got everything you need to begin right now. Here's your clear path forward. Today, within the next 2 hours, open your bank account or financial app. Look at your current numbers without judgment. Notice how you feel. If there's tension or anxiety, just observe it. That's information. Then write this down: this number shows where I am, not who I am. I'm expanding my capacity to receive and hold more abundance. Read it out loud. Feel the shift in your energy. This week, before each financial decision, whether it's $5 or $5,000, pause for 5 seconds. Ask, abundance or scarcity? Wisdom or fear? Let your body answer. Then choose from the more expanded state. Do this with at least 7 decisions this week. Signs you'll notice: you'll feel less anxious about money conversations. You'll start seeing opportunities you were somehow blind to before. Your decisions will feel clearer, lighter, more aligned with your values. These aren't small changes. This is your capacity expanding in real time. Now here's what I want you to do. Comment below with one decision you're committing to make from abundance this week. Let's build this together. I read the comments, and I'll be here supporting you. Remember at the beginning when I told you about losing $80,000, that experience, as painful as it was, became one of my greatest teachers. It showed me that I wasn't stuck because of bad luck or lack of opportunity. I was stuck because my internal capacity hadn't grown yet. And here's what I want you to really hear: you already have everything you need inside you to begin this expansion: the wisdom, the capacity, the power to grow. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to start expanding into your next level. The fact that you're still here, that you watched this all the way through, that tells me something important about you. You're serious about growth. You're ready for expansion. You're done with excuses, and I want you to know, the abundance you're seeking is already responding to who you're becoming. The universe, God, life, whatever you want to call it, responds to people who take courageous action. Not perfect action. Just honest, aligned action. So trust yourself. Trust the process, keep expanding, keep growing, keep choosing abundance. You've absolutely got this. So the real question isn't, can I do this? The real question is, am I ready to start? Drop a comment below with your commitment. Share this with someone who needs this message. And remember, money was never the problem. It's always been a mirror. What you see reflected isn't your destiny. It's your starting point. Your expansion begins now. What's your first decision from abundance?